It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, welcome to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. A lot of interesting things happening, right? This is the Luzerne County report. We're going to talk about the different things that's happening in the county. A lot of things exciting happening. For those of you who have sent out some emails, I will address them to Romilda, and also I want to thank the number of people up here at the Laurel Mall who I keep pestering all the time, getting their opinions on different things, and I appreciate that very much. Romilda Crocamo, who is the Luzerne County Manager, joins us again. Tell me, what is the purpose of the drop-off boxes? What's that purpose?
Okay, well, historically, Pennsylvania allows mail-in ballots. A lot of states have been using mail-in ballots for decades. We really just started a few years ago, and so people can mail their ballots in, and you can use the big blue boxes that are put there by the United States Postal Service. When COVID broke out, there was also an alternative that was used, were these drop boxes. Counties don't have to use them. It's not mandated by statute, but the Pennsylvania Supreme Court allowed drop boxes, and historically Luzerne County has used drop boxes so that you don't have to put your mail-in ballot in a mailbox. You can put it in a drop box, which is bought by the county. They're not uniform across the state. Right now we have boxes that look like mail boxes. Obviously they're not blue. And you can put your mail-in ballot into that drop box. We send out sheriffs, two sheriffs, to pick up the ballots at locations that are not at the Bureau site, which is Penn Place. And then we have a drop box at Penn Place, which the Election Bureau staff picks up those ballots.
Okay, so how many drop boxes are there now, will there be in the county?
Today, there are 2 that are deployed, one at Penn Place in Wilkes-Barre and one at the Hazelton Broad Street Exchange.
Okay. So you decided as the county manager not to have them this year. What was your reasoning for that again?
I made a decision that was based on security and the ability to secure the boxes and keep the box safe for people who are using them and the ballots.
Well, what do you mean secure and safe? Like, what would go wrong?
Well, the only thing that we use are video cameras. And video cameras serve a purpose. We can go back and view who put ballots in the drop box, but they really aren't security. It doesn't stop anyone from doing anything. And unfortunately, and we spoke about this before, it's so volatile, and there's so much hate, and there's so much venom right now in our political world that I could not, in good faith, say, I'm going to deploy these drop boxes because it's the responsibility of the county manager to secure county buildings, to secure county property, and to secure the staff and the ballots. I cannot, till this day, in good faith, say that the drop boxes are secure and safe. There's a lot of information out there from law enforcement, federal law enforcement, that warns counties of potential violent acts that could surround drop boxes. And I can tell you recently that chatter on social media has increased locally, and to the point that I've been threatened and my family members have been threatened.
Well, see, that's the thing that I'm really confused about, all right? And a lot of people, we're trying to get people to vote, and we're trying to let people know that, with all the rumors out there that they want to steal the election, who did this and all, and you said it, there's a lot of venom. So now, my concern is, you made a decision based on the betterment for the county, okay? All right. Now, what happens is when you make that decision, all of a sudden opposition came.
Correct.
Okay. So my question is, why would there be opposition when you are the county manager looking for the betterment and welfare? So now what happens, as I talk to people here, red flags keep popping up. Why do they do this? Okay. Why are they, don't they want to have this? Now, you're talking about 2 drop boxes in the county. Well, I think there's mailboxes on almost every other corner that I could see.
There are quite a few mailboxes.
Quite a few. So if you're telling me it's easier for them to drop it, I have a difficult time. My question is then, why would then and it came from, I think the Republican chairman said, he was satisfied with that, but the Democrat chairman and Democrats seem to be upset about that. Now, I don't understand why they would be upset and then go to the Supreme Court, et cetera, Attorney General, whatever. When you, who I have total trust in, okay, and you're doing, and I'm not because you're sitting here, but you're doing a fabulous job in representing in the county. I'm proud to have a show like this. I really mean that. Okay, so now people say, here's a gentleman, not me, said, see, they want to go back to steal the election again, Sammy, okay? That poor girl, she tried her best, okay, and they want to steal. I said, well, I don't think, so why did the Democrats and why did they fight you so much for 2 drop boxes?
Well, originally we had 4, but right now, today, we have 2 out. And just, I want to be clear, I did ask the Attorney General to do an investigation because I had nothing to hide. I still have nothing to hide. And I spoke with a lawyer from the Attorney General's office for about 40 minutes, and I was absolutely upfront with the reasoning why I decided not to deploy the drop boxes. And then, of course, the Attorney General issued a letter to me saying that the election board has the only authority to deploy drop boxes. And then I was sued. And I also want to be clear, I'm a Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat. And I absolutely believe that voting should be accessible. For everyone who is qualified and a legitimate voter, there should be ease in voting. We shouldn't put up roadblocks. And the drop boxes do make voting easier for some people. But it's not mandated in the statute. And I have to make a decision on how I use my resources. And the resources that I want to use is to shore up the security at the Bureau and to protect the ballots at the Bureau and do as much as I can to protect the polling sites. So I made this decision because I really, in this particular election, I cannot secure and say that using those drop boxes is secure and safe. Now, the one in Penn Place, we moved in past the sheriff's office. You have to come actually into the building and not in the vestibule. So that probably is the safest of all the drop boxes. So I think people believe that they make voting more accessible. And they went to court, and I agreed that I would follow the board's resolution from 2022, which they passed, and deploy the drop boxes based on that resolution. I'm not disparaging drop boxes. I'm not condemning them. It's just for this election, it really is difficult for me to sit or stand anywhere and say, you're going to go to a drop box and you're going to be okay. It's going to be safe. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I am absolutely positively wrong about that. But just from what's going on in the world and unfortunately in this county, I have very, very serious concerns.
And that's the thing that really upsets me, Romilda, and upsets a lot of people, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. Mm-hmm. But why did the Democrats come out and fight so hard, okay? And you have a Democrat Attorney General, okay, a Supreme Court's run by the Democrats. And then the election board comes out and Rick Morelli says, look, let's let it go by. Let's listen to what Romilda said. She's the county chairman. And it comes down to party lines, 3-2. Something that I had not wished to happen in county government, okay? And here again, people start saying, well, here we go again, all right? So I would have, if I don't have trust in you, then bye, we don't need you anymore. That's why we hired a county manager, okay? And what you've accomplished has been absolutely fantastic, okay? So echoing the people here, they're like disgusted. They're not like mad or angry. They're just disgusted, okay, to find out that there was such an uproar, okay? And it would have been reversed, Republicans and Democrats.
Right,
It doesn't make any difference. The point is that here's a person who is in charge, making a decision for the betterment of our county, all right? And you are absolutely right. It is very volatile right now with this election, okay? The lies, the deceits, and all this stuff that you hear is just unbelievable. Well, so you live what it is now, and we're hoping that it is going to be secure, okay? I'm hoping that it's going to be a fair election. Okay, I really hope. I'm sure you.
Well, we are. I mean, and let me tell you, I call balls and strikes, and we have a bureau that's made up of Democrats, Republicans, non-affiliate, and we're doing things by the book. And we have a live web feed if you go on our website, and you can see where the ballots are stored. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I go in to make sure that I can see the ballots.
But why would they threaten you, like, if you're doing something wrong? I mean, that's the thing.
I just think people, when you have extremists, they're just so operating with blinders, and they think that they can do that. It's not going to stop me from doing my job. Yeah. I'm still going to go in and do my job, and our staff is going to go in and do their job. So, but it's something that you have to live with. And, I hope it stops. Mm-hmm.
I hope so too, Romilda. It's not good. It's not healthy at all. We're talking to Romilda Crocamo, who's the Luzerne County Manager. That's why we put her there, my friends, to secure what we're doing in the county. And yet, when she makes a decision that's good for the county, look what happens. And then you wonder, why does that happen? Why was such an uproar? Why did everyone think, particularly the Democrat side, decide that this was something wrong and there was press conferences, etc.? You say, what's the story? 2 drop boxes? You begin to wonder. We come back, let's talk about the budget, over $400 million, and we talk about accountability with the different divisions that we have in the county. We'll be back right after this. Well, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Thank you for making this show the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. I appreciate that very much. That's taken from a scientific poll, Susquehanna Polling and Research. And remember, 24/7, you can watch all of our local neighborhood programs on ssptv.com. My email, sam at ssptv.com. My guest today is Romilda Crocamo, who is the Luzerne County Manager. This is the county report. We do it every month. To wrap up the problem with drop boxes, what do you think should be done?
Well, the legislature has to act. The election code is antiquated. How we go forward with new ways to vote, because it's not just election day anymore. The legislature, they have to get together. They have to make a decision one way or the other. The counties were left to our own device. The issue about the drop boxes, if they want it mandatory, make it mandatory. Tell us how many drop boxes we need per capita or per population. Tell us at least the minimum requirements on how to secure them, and make sure that we have the funds to secure them. So until the legislature acts on it, we're unfortunately going to be in this dilemma.
Well, I'm hoping that everything goes well for the election, and let me assure you, please vote. I'm feel very confident that everything is going to be okay. You passed the budget.
Yes,
all
well,
right?
we didn't pass it. We submitted the budget.
Okay.
Council passes the budget.
Okay. When are they voting on it?
Well, they have to vote by December. So we have budget hearings, and they will be scheduled the day of the council meetings. So they're going to be long meetings. We have our division heads that attend and basically explain, defend their budget, their requests, and then council can make amendments.
So right now, the proposal you're making has no taxes.
No taxes. It's a little tight. It's
be.
tight this year, but no taxes.
So that brings me down to accountability, okay? And you just don't review this once a year. You're on top of this on a monthly basis with your different department heads, okay?
Correct.
All right, so we often hear about the waste, okay, in government, particularly out of Washington. I don't even want to go there, okay? But the point is, with a $400 million budget, thank God there's no increase because we're getting whacked the way it is with inflation and everything else.
Right.
How do you have a handle on accountability of your different agencies? Because there's different people that feel they shouldn't do this, who should
Right.
do that. Okay, how do you do that?
Well, on the budget side, our division head for budget and finance, Mary Roselle, she does a budget report every month that is given to county council. And I meet with my division heads. I meet with them individually, and we go over substantive issues, and then we go over budget, what they need, where they're maybe falling short, maybe they actually thought they needed to use more money and they didn't, so now we have to shift how it's allocated. And then every other month I meet with the division heads and the department heads together. What Mary and I did, and mostly Mary Roselle, our budget and finance division head, I mean, we looked at areas where we could make the county run more efficiently. And we relied on the department heads. We asked a lot of questions. Well, why do you need that? How did you come up with that figure? Start at zero and then work your way up to what you need, rather than this is what I put in last year and I want a little bit more. So we were asking difficult questions, and we were getting responses. Some of them were a little delayed, but we got responses, and that's how we keep a handle on the budget.
So basically, if I was in a certain agency going for, I would list the services that this agency has performed for the year. So I could say, Romilda, last year we did 175 blah blah blah.
Right.
Okay. And this is where our money went here. This is what we were able
Correct.
to service. Okay. And I would think that would be the approach of them, an accountability factor. So
Correct.
if you're giving someone $5 million, I'm just using it of $5 million, they're showing you this is where the $5 million went to. Okay.
Right.
Is that how the approach they use?
But pretty much. There are some divisions that it's difficult to use that approach. The Office of Law, which I was the chief county solicitor for years, that depends on the litigation that's out there and going forward. So you almost have to do a little guesstimate of, this case might go to trial and it'll cost this amount of money. So that division is a little bit hard to get exact numbers. The prison is just, It's very difficult because it depends on how many inmates we have, and that depends on so many other variables that we don't really have control over. But we have people that have been doing the job for years, and they have a good understanding of what needs are. I mean, here's an example with the prison. When inmates are brought to the hospital, we have to have 2 guards on those prisoners that are in the hospital 24 hours a day. A few weeks ago, we had 4 prisoners that were hospitalized. So we had to have guards there. So it's hard to, it's hard to budget what you think might happen in the future because you don't know.
Exactly.
You might have 0 inmates in the hospital. You may have 4 at the same time. So, but we do our best, and we came to a very good conclusion this year.
What division gets the most amount of money and how much?
Well, Human Services has the biggest budget outside of the general fund because they get monies from the federal government and the state government as well. So our general fund match, our contribution, is not 100%, but that's the biggest budget. Other than that, it's the prison.
And once again, looking at, every agency is important, okay? Because if you're helping one person, you're doing your job. Looking at management, and I tell you, my eyes were open when I had your chairman and the vice chairman
Great guys.
to the money that we were paying off the debt, and how the council, if it's working properly, which it is, does such a great job. What do you think is the most needed right now in the county? Like if you're looking at a priority, I know they're all priorities, but what would be your main priority right now that the county is looking or facing with?
Our infrastructure. Our infrastructure. We have 120 miles of roads. We have over 300 bridges in various sizes, and we really need to concentrate on not just repairing the roads, but getting a process in place to maintain them. That really is the top priority, because we can't get investments and developers that can bring in high-paying jobs if we don't have the infrastructure. We have to have the infrastructure, and that's the most challenging of all the areas.
What's being done right now as far as infrastructure?
Well, we are working. We're working on the West Pittston Bridge, the West Nanticoke Bridge, and we're going to bundle some of our local bridges and start to do a maintenance program on them. And we're trying to use some of the ARPA money to open up some of the bridges. We keep having to lower the weight limit on a lot of our bridges to the point where we have to shut them down. So we have our county engineer prioritizing the bridges, and we'll be just going through the list, get monies, apply for grants for to get the bridges and the roads fixed.
Well, you have a lot of work ahead of you, right?
I love it. I love it. I love my job.
Well, and you could tell it, and the point is, I don't think there's any time that we've ever asked you anything that you've not been able to come right up front and have nothing to hide, and I think transparency is the best. I would say that when you hire someone to do a job, let them do the job. We can tell you what the needs are, then those are the needs. But for us to do your job or to tell you what to do, then what do we need you for, okay? So these are monthly shows, my friend, to give you as much information. And email me some of your questions that you have. I'll be more than happy to share them with Romilda. She holds nothing back, tells you the way it is. And hopefully you would go out and vote, and everything will be okay. We'll see you next time.